Hello everybody, it is Saturday, August 2nd. In this video, I wanted to do a weekly recap and combine it with the monthly recap since yesterday, Friday, was the 1st of August, so I figured I'd just combine the both of them. Real quick for new viewers, as I do in the beginning of all videos going forward, what the goal of this portfolio is. One, deposit $6,000 into the account of my W-2 wages, and I divide that by the amount of Fridays. So in July, there were 4 Fridays, so that was $1,500 a week. This month in August, there's 5 Fridays, so it'll be $1,200 a week. 50% of what I deposit in there at any given time, so 600 and 600 if it's $1,200 like it was yesterday that I put in, is used for options trading. The other 50% is used to purchase high yield dividend stocks or ETFs. On the first of the month or just before, I withdraw $6,000 on margin to pay for my mortgage and my student loans. And then all income generated through the account from selling options, from capital gains, from dividends, or anything else is all used to pay down the margin balance throughout the month. And then eventually, the income generated will outpace the margin borrowed, and then I can make decisions from there whether to pay down debt more aggressively or be financially free or a combination of the two. So jumping into the results for the week first. You'll see here I have highlighted July 30th and 31st. That was Wednesday and Thursday. Made a couple of moves with the Fed doing their meeting on Wednesday and making their announcement on interest rates. It created a higher implied volatility environment. So I took that and used that to my advantage on bros here that I had a position opened on. And I rolled my position because it was currently in the money. So I paid 1 cent in fees to close it and $5 to roll it. So it cost me $5.01 to roll it, but then subsequently sold a call at the same strike but pushed it out 1 week and received $240 in premium, or after fees and everything, $239.34. So because of the higher IV due to the meeting, I rolled it in the morning before they had made their announcement. I was able to roll for the same strike and pick up a really hefty premium, which was nice. So that was $239 added right there. I also received a dividend from BITX in the amount of $61.27. And then I put my margin interest charge in here, which was $81.11 for the entire month on what the balance was, which I'll get into here in a second. I also received a small dividend from SP. This should not be SPYI. This actually was SPY. I do hold 2 shares of it. So I received $3.52 there. And then QQQ paid out the same day as well. I received $1.18. I have 2 shares of QQQ currently. Going over to yesterday, which was the 1st of August, made a few moves here as well. Received my YMAX dividend, was $16.46. Received XDTE, which is $118.75. This is a weekly payer. This is a weekly payer. Misty is actually going to pay twice in August, which is awesome. So I got the first one, which was $645.01. I think the payout was $1.18 per share. And then weekly payer Ulti as well paid me $69.85. So just in dividends yesterday, I received $850.07. And you can see that up here. Starbucks, I rolled my position on this. The market took a little bit of a dive yesterday with all the tariff announcements and things like that, but I think it's going to be artificial. I think the market will probably bounce back up next week, assuming we don't go to war with Russia. Just my opinion. We'll see. So I took the opportunity to roll some of these positions. So Starbucks, you can see I kept it at the same strike, rolled it out 1 week. I paid $236.36 to close it, but then received $292.34 on my rolled position for a net credit of $55.68. Rolled SOXL as well, had 3 contracts. I was able to actually roll down the strike $2 here, pushed it out a week, and also receive a net credit of $135.98. TNA also rolled, kept it at the same strike, but pushed it out 1 week. Net credit of $64.68. And then TSLL, I had actually gotten assigned on early this morning, yesterday, Friday morning, on the 7 contracts I had at the 13 strike. I got assigned on them. TSLL was trading under 11 at the time. So I went and sold a covered call on the 7 contracts at 13, which is my strike price. So I didn't get a whole lot of premium, but that's okay. Until it bounces back up, I wanted to sell it. If I could get anything decent, I wanted to sell it and get some money in return. So I got a whopping $23.35. That's fine for now. I do think it's going to bounce back up in the next couple weeks. And then I had a little bit of money remaining to sell puts with. So I went ahead and sold a put on JOBY, had high implied volatility. It's also a position I believe in the long term, so I wouldn't be uncomfortable holding it for a longer period of time if I had to. I sold 1 contract at a $15 strike, expiring a week out. I got $32 in premium, paid my 66 cents in fees, so I got $31.34. All in all, just for yesterday, I made a total income of $1,161.10. $311 of that was from options. $850 of that is from dividends. Not bad for the first week of the month. So closing out the week, I will jump into the monthly results. So July, all of July, had a total income of $3,159. $1,682.21 was from options. $1,558.73 was from dividends. And then I paid $81.11 in margin interest on the loan that I had. And then jumping over to how we did as far as the goal is for the month of July. So July, I ended up putting in $6,000, which is the goal. My portfolio value as of July 1st was $76,170.87. My margin balance, $82.81.66. And I went over these already in a previous video, but $32.40.94 in dividends and options. I paid $81.11 in margin interest, as I mentioned, so almost double. And I made a net income of $3,159. This was encouraging because I mentioned last month that I wasn't sure this was sustainable. So far, looks pretty good. So I continue to operate in my projection over here. I continue to kind of operate in this month 14 area, or month 12 area, sorry. So technically speaking, I'm like 12 months ahead of my projection or my goal. So we'll see if this continues, but if I can stay in this range and continue to grow it from there and not dip too far, it's good signs. So August, as of August 1st, obviously haven't made, well, this is actually false. I actually put $1,200 in yesterday since it was the first. So I've already made $1,200 deposit yesterday. I used half of that to sell puts, and then I used half of it. I bought more GPIX, which I'll get into here in a second. So my portfolio value as of August 1st was $77,246, higher than the previous month, but also this takes into account pulling out the $6,000 that I pulled out to pay the mortgage and the student loans, and also the market didn't do as well this week as it has been doing in previous weeks. So my margin balance as of the first sits at $11,082.35, actually a bit lower now. This was before all of the trades I made yesterday and all the dividends I received yesterday. So it's actually closer to 9,500, I believe, right around that range. So we'll see how we do with dividends and options. You saw already for August in 1 week, I've already made $1161.10. So we're already like a third of the way to the goal here, or to what I did last month and the previous. So that's a good sign. The margin interest, we'll see what it comes in at. You'll notice up here on my projection, this is going to come in lower, I think, or lower than what I projected, because I mentioned I was trying to negotiate my rate down. And when I started the negotiation, I was paying a 12.535% margin interest rate on my balance. I was able to negotiate it down to 9.5. Still a little higher than I would like, but I don't have a huge account yet. It's not even quite at 100,000. It's sitting about 90, 91,000 right now. But this cut it pretty much by a quarter. So I'm pretty happy with that for now. They gave me a federal funds rate plus 5%. I haven't been with Schwab that long. I have a decent balance, but again, it's not even over 100,000 yet. I plan to negotiate this again maybe in like 6 months to a year. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the 25% roughly drop in interest rate. So I'll take that as a win for now. Lastly, I'll jump into the high yield funds here. So here we are for August. As I mentioned, I've already received $118.75 from XDTE yesterday. Misty's going to pay twice this month, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to probably for sure beat this May number because it is paying twice. But I've gotten 645.01 already, 1646 from YMAX, and 69.85 from Ultis. So far the month, I've received $850.07. All of July, I received $1,441, so we're already 2/3 of the way there. And so far for the year, I've made $7,258.67 from these high yield funds. Jumping down, as I mentioned, with the half of the 1,200 I deposited yesterday, I took about 600 and bought 12 more shares of GPIX. So it raised it from 17 to 29 shares. So I'll continue to build that position, more JEPI. I'm going to add some other positions in here as well. I know Misty took a real dive yesterday, and that one really hurt me because it's one of my largest holdings, but I'm not really too concerned about that. And normally I would buy more Misty, but I'm trying to not scale out of these, but I'm trying to slow down how much I'm scaling into these yield max funds and trying to get more into like XDTE, SPYI, maybe QDTE, things like that. So just trying to create a little bit more balance and not go so heavy on the yield max stuff. But overall total return for just the high yield funds, I'm sitting at a little over 5% return. That includes dividends, obviously. Just running down the list real quick. Misty 6.36%, I'm up. Total return. Ulti 2.64%. YMAX 6.11. XDTE 5.87. SPYI 5.52. GPIX I'm down a little bit, partially because it dropped and then I bought more yesterday, so it's going to show a low total return for now until I start getting more distributions. And then JEPI a little over 0.5%. So overall, I'm happy with where it's at, even with the big drop yesterday and the not so good market this week. As long as these continue to stay flat, that's kind of my goal. Even if these sit at 0% total return, but I'm still getting the distributions that I can use to pay down other things, then I'm happy with that. So I'll put out another weekly update at the end of this coming week, obviously. And if I have any other ideas for some videos, I'll come out with one a little bit sooner. But for now, thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you on the next one.